Tecno is a company that is usually known for making good value for money smartphones, wherein if you buy a Tecno smartphone, you can expect to get more for less. So does the company's latest sub 20,000 rupees entrant, the Camon 18, deliver on the core fundamentals? Let's find out. Hello everyone, I'm Ania from Mr. Phone and this is my full review of the Tecno Camon 18. Of course, if you're new to the channel, then consider hitting that red subscribe button for awesome tech videos and also turn on the bell so that you don't miss any of our latest updates. Let's get started. Starting with the phone's design and build, this is an unapologetically big phone, so operating it with one hand can be a task for some. That said, I love how the phone looks and feels in the hand despite using a plastic build. The phone's frame feels solid while the glossy finish on this dusk grey variant definitely makes the phone looks exquisite. However, because of the glossy nature of the back, fingerprints and smudges are an issue, so a case is definitely recommended, or you can opt for the iris purple color variant. I feel between the two shades, the purple definitely looks much better and it also comes with a matte finish. Moving on, you get a USB Type-C port, a headphone jack, a microphone and a single speaker at the bottom. The volume buttons on this phone offer good tactile feedback and are very clicky, but the same can't be said for the power button. The power button, which also has the fingerprint sensor embedded inside, felt mushy to me. That said, it is very fast and accurate when it comes to unlocking the device. Apart from that, there's not much to talk about the design and build except the fact that the Camon 18 is indeed a good looking smartphone. Shifting gears, at the front you get a 6.8-inch Full HD Plus IPS LCD display. It's a 60Hz panel and looking at the competition, Tecno should have at least provided a 90Hz panel here. However, in terms of display quality, it's a well-calibrated LCD panel for its budget. It offers wide viewing angles, colors look good. I also didn't notice any sort of screen bleeding around the edges or around the hole punch. The multimedia experience here is also great, and despite featuring a single bottom-firing speaker, the audio output gets pretty loud. In terms of brightness, the display peaks at 500 nits and I did not face any issues regarding screen legibility, be it indoors or outdoors. On the downside, the display is only Widevine L3 certified, which means HD viewing on Netflix and Prime isn't a thing on the smartphone, which is kind of disappointing. Overall, it's a good display and as I said, it's a well-calibrated panel. However, Tecno should have at least given a 90Hz refresh rate option here. Moving on, the Tecno Camon 18 is powered by the MediaTek Helio G85 SoC. There's only a single variant on offer, that is 4GB RAM plus 128GB storage. There's also a dedicated microSD card slot on this phone for expandable storage. As for the software, there's iOS 8 atop Android 11 and as usual, iOS is a pretty busy affair. Now don't get me wrong, it looks good, it operates well, it is responsive, but I also couldn't ignore the amount of bloatware, some of which you can't even uninstall, which is quite annoying, and don't even get me started on the spam notifications. One more downside to iOS 8 is that it doesn't have Google Discover. Now this might not be an issue for some, but it definitely bothers me a lot. For now, I've kept the Google app on my home screen, and while it is still a one-click process, the way you can access it with a single swipe on other Android smartphones just feels natural. With that said, if you can look around the bloatware and the spam notifications, then I feel that iOS overall is a decent skin that once you start fiddling around with, then you'll discover a bunch of useful features. But yes, Tecno definitely needs to work on the bloatware situation here. On to the performance, well, the Helio G85 is easily able to handle your usual day-to-day activities. RAM management was decent and you also get virtual RAM expansion of up to 3GB, which can take the phone's total RAM to up to 7GB, so that is a good addition. Apart from this, I also didn't face any problems regarding speed and responsiveness while using Chrome, social media or general texting on WhatsApp or Telegram. However, opening heavy apps does take longer than usual, speaking of which, graphics intensive games such as Call of Duty Mobile and Asphalt 9 were playable. In my testing, I did not experience any major performance drops or heating issues while playing for long sessions. However, the graphics don't look that great, and that is something of a limitation that comes with the Helio G85. Now, in terms of call and network reception, I tested the Camon 18 on the Jio 4G network. Sadly, there's no carrier aggregation, something that definitely helps in areas with dodgy connectivity. But generally speaking, network reception was pretty stable. I did not face any call drops. The call quality in the phone's earpiece itself was loud and clear, and the phone's proximity sensor also worked flawlessly. Battery life is another area where the Tecno Camon 18 deserves applause. The phone comes with a 5000 mAh battery under the hood that will easily last you a day with medium to heavy usage, and this is with 6 to 7 hours of screen on time. Heck, with moderate usage, you can even use this phone for 2 days straight. Standby times are also great on the smartphone, and I usually noticed a 1 to 2% battery drop overnight, which is fantastic. Finally, let's talk about the camera. You get 3 lenses at the back, a 48 megapixel primary assisted by a couple of 2 megapixel depth and AI lenses. At the front, there's again a 48 megapixel lens for selfies. Given favorable lighting conditions, the main 48 megapixel camera of the Camon 18 does not disappoint, be it indoors or outdoors. Shots captured exhibited true to source color reproduction and good detail. The camera does, however, require some work in the HDR department. Basically, shooting against a light source doesn't yield you the best of the results. Coming to the shots taken in not so great lighting, once again the Camon 18 delivers. Of course, if there's some sort of artificial light source around, you can expect the camera to capture decent shots with minimal noise in the output. Additionally, there's night mode as well, which also helps in boosting the exposure in a shot if the need be, all while keeping a check on the noise, contrast and details. Coming to the front camera, the Camon 18 does a good job when it comes to taking selfies. Shots come out clean, skin tones look natural, and overall the output was detailed. For times where there's pitch dark, there's also a flash unit at the front which helps in illuminating the subject. Neat. Now, in terms of video recording, the rear camera can shoot up to 2K videos, and while the colors and details in the video output look good, my gripe here is definitely the lack of video stabilization. So videos that involve a lot of walking or running around will turn out to be jerky, but otherwise, in terms of color reproduction, details, dynamic range, etc., the Camon 18 does a fine job. By the way, the camera is also loaded with some cool video presets and options that let you create social media ready content. The best part is that you don't need to edit the clips or add music or anything like that. Simply hit record and the phone will do the rest for you. Sharing a sample of what I'm talking about. At the end of the day, the Tecno Camon 18 does deliver when it comes to the core fundamentals. For starters, the design and build is good, the phone's performance is decent with the battery life being top-notch, even the camera system on the smartphone delivers when it comes to taking stills in a variety of lighting conditions, not to mention the selfie camera performance is great on this thing. With that said, Tecno definitely needs to work harder on its software, that is HiOS. Additionally, for its retail price of a little under 16,000 rupees, the Camon 18 should have at least come with a 90Hz screen. And that was my take on the Tecno Camon 18. Now, what do you guys think about Tecno's latest offering after watching this video? Let me know in the comments below. As always, for all the latest in tech, stay tuned to Mr. Phone. I'll catch you all in the very next one. Thank you for watching.